Yeah, well, I'm lucky that I am 17, so just over it. But we have some members of the team who are currently affected by this, and we'll work around to see whether we can still work with them on platforms like Twitter. I know obviously there's still 12 months for implementation, but also we've been built up by having 13, 14, 15-year-olds see our work and then join to explore their passions in journalism and media. So it really restricts our growth. And I think generally for young people, it restricts creativity. Definitely on platforms like Instagram and TikTok, especially, there's a lot of a younger audience there, which we try to tailor our content towards more so than on like Facebook. And the reality is, young people are getting their news from social media, from platforms like Six News and other platforms on social media. So it takes away a lot of their ability to find out news if they follow it on these platforms.
Do you appreciate, Leo, that something needed to happen when you look at all the stories that were coming out about the harms that social media was causing some young people?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't think there's any doubt that something needed to happen about this problem. The problem is this ban doesn't do anything. All that harmful content still exists. Kids who bypass it, and I think they absolutely will bypass it, are going to find less resources maybe if they need to report something, because technically they're not supposed to be on there. And so all that content is actually still on there. This doesn't address it. It just kind of looks like it's addressing it. I think that's a real concern. We've got a big opportunity to work and potentially stop some of this harmful content and make platforms actually safer and online spaces safer for young people. But I just don't think this ban does it. If you tell a young person not to do something, I think they're a lot more likely to do it. My younger brother's 14 years old. I'm sure he'll spend the next 12 months figuring out how to get around it. Ultimately, with no digital ID, according to the government last night, unless you're doing facial recognition, I really struggle to see how this could be enforced with anything more than checking a box to say you're over a certain age, which is basically what we have now. And I think the government said there's no silver bullet. I would agree with that. I think you've got to have better education for young people on how to stay safe online, not just to never use it. Better education and resources for parents so they can understand social media a bit better. You've got to work with these platforms to make online spaces safer for young people, whether that is working with them or forcing them. But really, you have to remember there are vulnerable young kids here who use social media for really important reasons. Maybe they don't have a safe school or home life, and they use social media as an escape to find friends, to find communities, to explore their interests. That's going to be taken away, and I think that's a real concern.